Hello and welcome to On Point, the talk show with me, your boy Deli. How is your evening going, man? Listen, I am excited. A lot of good things are happening in my life and hopefully in yours as well. And I am just grateful. It has been a while since I've been here. Nonetheless, I am here and we're going to make the very best of this evening because I have a lot to share. And as many of you know, elections are only about 3 weeks away. But there's some stuff that are happening that I am going to be sharing with you when I return right here On Point, the talk show. Welcome to On Point, the only real and unscripted talk show that educates, motivates, and inspires, featuring interesting topics on health, finances, real estate, education, technology, politics, legal issues, and more. Welcome back to On Point, the talk show with me, Deli. Man, let me tell you, people are going crazy. This country is going crazy. It's a wild, wild west out here, politically, that is. It is getting insane, as you all know. It's all over the news. And states are suppressing people's rights to vote like nobody's business. States such as Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Texas, North Dakota, Indiana, and there may be some more as well. But I just come here because it is important that we take what's happening in this country seriously. I do not know what is happening and why it is happening. Then again, I have a good idea. But a lot of us need to wake up and realize that democracy is not democracy, at least not here in the USA, as we were told it is. It is an oligarchy. And what that is, it's a small segment of people, small percentage of people that are running everything. They're controlling the monies, they're running governments, and they're stocking themselves, making themselves rich, while the rest of society drops dead. We all know that, okay? At least some of us know that. So let's just dismiss the notion that the United States is a democracy. It is not. All right, now let's get to this voter suppression thing. North Carolina, 60%, up to 60% of people in North Carolina voted early in the 2016 election. But what is happening now is that voters are now dealing with changes changes in how elections are run in North Carolina. So they're changing the system that could disproportionately affect poor people and people who are non-Caucasian. All right? And so the rules are being changed, what seemed to be every day at a time when early voting is becoming increasingly popular. A new law was passed by the Republican-controlled legislature, which results in 20% fewer places to vote before the election day. That's once again in North Carolina. Now in Nevada, what Nevada is doing, and this is so unfair and unjust. Nevada is now requiring that if you do not have a physical street address, then you cannot vote. Post office box is not counted, no longer counted. And the reason why they did this was because Native Americans, which I believe account for about 70% of votes in two particular counties, which normally happens to push Democrats over the winning line. they're now being suppressed because a lot of Native Americans do not have physical street addresses because they live on their, what is it, a reservation, I believe. So now they're being intentionally, and this act is intentional because Heidi Heikent, she is the only Democratic senator from the state of Nevada, I believe. And they're just doing everything in their power to prevent the Democrats from winning. Georgia is doing the same thing. There is a fight brewing between the African American governor and the Secretary of State, Kemp, where he has thrown out over 50,000 votes, majority of which are African American votes. And as such, it creates a disproportionate situation when it comes to voter turnout. Same thing is happening in North Dakota. Same thing is happening in Texas. So all over the place, Republicans are scrambling to suppress as many votes as they can get their hands on. Now, if you want to see to it that this does not happen, we have to show up and show out come election day in huge, and I mean massively huge numbers to combat that, because this practice to me seemed to be illegal. Apparently it is not, because they're doing it. So the only way we can combat that is to show up in great numbers and show them that you can stop some, but you can't stop everyone. Okay? It is so unfair. It is so unjust. It is so evil, to say the least, that they can now be forcing these laws just so that a certain segment of society does not get a chance to cast their constitutional right to vote. And to me, it's just like the Russians interfering with the election process in the United States. Republicans are interfering with the election process in the United States. So either way you look at it, it's still interference, okay? And there is no way anyone can justify what is happening, really and truly, because at this point, to me at least, it seems like nobody cares, not enough people care that this is a practice that is taking place. And it seems as if nobody is interested in stopping it. Should that deter you from going out there and casting your votes? No, it shouldn't deter you. If anything, it should hype you up to go out there and cast your vote. Because I know right now, because they're doing this, it makes me want to go out there and vote. And if I can go to each state and vote, I would do it. Not that I would, I'm just saying. But seriously, things like this should not be happening in a democracy, as we want to call it, as we oftentimes call it. And if they can so eagerly do stuff like this, imagine what is coming in, let's say, 2 to 5 years' time. You know, gradually they're cutting away the layers of rights that you are afforded, or that we are afforded by the U.S. Constitution. And it just goes to show you that this two-system form of leadership needs to come to an end. There need to be term limits to get rid of these old bastards that are putting some of these laws in place that is affecting the lives of everyone, okay? They don't care because they're at the age where a lot of them could flip over and die at any minute, so they do not care. They already set their family members, so when they die, their family members will still be rolling in riches, so they do not care. So there need to be term limits for the Senate. There need to be term limit for the House, just like there is term limit for the president that can't serve more than 2 terms. A senator shouldn't be allowed to serve more than 2 terms. I'm just saying. The reason, we need fresh blood. We need fresh new ideas. We need ideas that are going to move the country forward and not backwards. And that's what we're seeing happening right now. These old men's, many of them, brains are so frozen that they cannot think straight. And as such, they're not capable of holding the country together. You see, they're rambling on. They're being extremely partisan. And this is both sides I'm addressing right now, the Republicans and the Democrats. This 2-party form of government needs to be extinguished. You see, we need people in their 30s and 40s and, God forbid, even in their 20s to start running for elections and to lead the country, because it's only by doing that that you're going to get fresh, new ideas that will hopefully move the country forward. And I say hopefully because no matter how you cut it, there's going to be some idiot out there, young idiot, who's going to come in and try to think that he's the next Donald Trump